Welcome back, Alpha Hunters. It's a very wonderful Hump Day Wednesday today. Um, it is also a pretty big time do or die kind of day. And, oof, normally I would say be bullish on days like today because we do have NVIDIA's earnings and we're not exactly seeing the strength in the market going into NVIDIA's earnings that, I would say normally we have seen in the past. So, yeah, I don't really know what to kind of think. Anyways, we'll talk a little bit more about it. We didn't really gap up. It was just kind of a flat open there. Traded down there for the first 45 minutes, kind of bounced here over the past 45 minutes. So that's kind of where we are. SPY's currently down about 0.5%. Q's, on the other hand, is a different story. Q's, little subtle gap down, but they traded down a little bit harder there the first 45 minutes. You actually see they actually broke yesterday morning's low. So that's kind of an interesting one. Currently down 0.2% because we did bounce here over the past 45 minutes or so. IWM, nice move here on the IWM of nothingness. Just a little bit of a gap down, trade lower, bounced. The bounce over the past 45 minutes has kind of gotten back to where the open was. So we just didn't sell down as hard here on the IWM. Anyways, IWM currently down about 0.2%. DIA is basically flat right now, slightly negative. Nice little gap up, traded down first 45 minutes, bounced here over the past 45 minutes, looking okay. RSP currently down 0.2%, a little bit of a gap up, trading lower, and bounced. Okay. So that's how some of them look intraday. Man, yeah, yesterday's gap down just looks so bad. Now it just kind of looks like it's retesting into the moving averages. Looks like it might just roll over here on the RSP. And we are seeing the RSP kind of slowly kind of get through these support levels, these moving averages. But if we see a pretty big breakdown by tomorrow, on tomorrow's trading activity from NVIDIA's earnings, yeah, that would be something we probably have to really talk about. I'm almost kind of expecting it, just because the market has not held up all that much over the past week. Not as much as normal. DIA sit right on top of this previous all-time high. I mean, if you liked yesterday's gap down on some of these ETFs, you got to really like the retest that we got yesterday and into today, into the moving averages, and say, you know what? I kind of dig it. IWM almost perfectly pulled into this area yesterday with that gap down, and you see the buy up that happened yesterday. It was pretty strong yesterday too, up 0.75% off of a pretty good gap down that was. And now you got a little bit of a gap down today, little bit, pretty good size lower wick, but it has bounced back pretty good. So if it can end about where it is now, I mean, I'd be willing to be bullish off that, which kind of aligns with what we've been talking about here on the IWM over the past couple of weeks about being bullish into this previous all-time high, not previous all-time high, but these previous highs over the past couple of months type zone from like that 280 to 225 type level. So it looks pretty good. The Qs. Yeah, the one that's been lagging behind a lot, basically ever since this all-time high back over here in July, mid-July. Down the most today. It's been down pretty good amount. It did retest yesterday and today into that 10 EMA. So if you were liking some of the breakdowns, especially that we got from like Friday, and you're just waiting to get, kind of that retest in that 10 EMA, and you say, you know what, maybe I'll play it bearish off of that. You got it. So Yeah, it doesn't look great, man. It doesn't look great, and that's one thing. Is like even if Nvidia that has earnings today, even if they're super good, it doesn't mean that it's gonna be super good for a lot of the other tech stocks out there. SPY. Very nice sideways action here over the past 4 days of trading. So yeah, I mean, you can definitely take that bearish if we break that down around the 584 level. Break that down. I'd just hop in, just take that bearish down to probably that 50 EMA. Don't have to be super aggressive, but I would just almost expect it just to happen because we've just kind of consolidated right here. So if you flush out of that, you probably just trigger a bunch of stop losses and it just flushes, kind of like this day back over here on October 31st. So that is kind of what's going on. I'll check in with Nvidia. Bounce back to yesterday, slightly negative today. It did have almost a 5% day yesterday. I mean, it is currently down 0.4%, but pretty big lower wick. I mean, the day is going to be mostly tomorrow is going to be heavily determined by Nvidia. If Nvidia has a bad quarter, I mean, the whole market will drop. If Nvidia has a great quarter, depending on possibly what they say, I mean, it's very possible that they have a great day, and a lot of other tech stocks, they don't. So, still one that I would, if you would want to play this, I'm trying to think of like a really good way, but I would probably look to play it with puts, a put spread, a bearish put spread, and probably not on Nvidia, but maybe like AMD or something like that. And AMD might not be bad to see it kind of retesting that 10 EMA. I kind of dig that. You can see it's been on a nice little downtrend. I could dig doing a bear put spread for this Friday. You keep it kind of tight, right? Probably $1 or 1 point strike prices in here. So you can maybe do like the 136, 135 bear put spread. Something like that. You could do the 135, 134. But that's something that I would rather do just because the option time and volatility is probably not baked in as much. But that'd be something, the way I would probably look to play it, just because the options are not crazy priced. Anyways, the VIX, VIX, continuing to move higher. Okay, continuing to move higher. Nice. DXY, dollar index. Okay, dollar index. We got a nice little flag pattern then over the 3 previous days. We were bouncing very nicely today, back up to the highs of the past week. Looks pretty good. It's a pretty good move. GLD, I'm kind of surprised this thing has continued to bounce today, especially with DXY dollar pushing up as strong as it is. So dollar moving up, so is gold. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'd rather be bullish on pullbacks. But, jeez, I just thought and you know what, we could still easily roll over there on gold, but man, it is crazy out there. Yields, 10-year yield, man, that looks like a really good kind of consolidation coming up here. Nice little lower wick, bounce. Jeez, looks pretty good. 10 and 2 inversion. Still just hanging out just above the 0 line. Just not doing a whole lot of anything. You got the HYG. Looks pretty good. See if this breaks down, but it looks pretty good to continue higher. LQD still just consolidating sideways here. Nice little gap down today. Ooh. See if that breaks down going forward. Same thing with the TLT. I mean, these things, Even though the TLT, LQD are kind of just like trying to base here, but they are still kind of slipping through some of these support resistance areas. Like you see, we based kind of in this same area here back in the beginning of the year, and that's probably one reason why it's having a really hard time here, at least on the TLT side, getting through all the support and resistance type area. So. All right, as far as sector rotation on the day, healthcare finally bouncing back and doing something good on a day. It's been a few weeks since healthcare's been leading the day. Energy's also been doing pretty good, even though energy's had a pretty good start to the day. It's definitely been coming back. Communications outperforming, materials outperforming, utilities, financials, industrials, and real estate all outperforming slightly there. Tech underperforming, discretionary is underperforming, staples lower end of the day. As far as intraday price action, we got healthcare, we got real estate leading the day of the bullishness intraday. Communications, staples, materials, energies all outperforming. Utilities slight outperformance there. Tech underperforming, as well as discretionaries, industrials, and financials all underperforming there. All right, let me know if there's anything you want to take a look at. Yeah, if you know what, I want to go back to that NVIDIA thing. So if you were gonna play NVIDIA, if there's any company that's gonna come out of this continuing bullish, it's gonna be NVIDIA. What I would actually, I was kind of thinking about this after we were gonna kind of talked about this before. I would actually play NVIDIA with some kind of bull call spread, like right in here, right in this area, up to about 150. So if it's got like dollar strikes, let's see. NVIDIA, perfect. Options. Okay. 150. All right, so not bad. There's about a nickel in between the bid and ask. This is what it seems like. So it's not horrible. So, but you can come down, or you can go to like the 148, 149, 150 type area and say, hey, I'd be down. I'd be willing to own. Let me get AMD up here. Because you could play this possibly both directions with two different stocks like AMD. Oh, let me bring up puts here. For this Friday. Okay, so AMD down to like 134. Not bad. Okay, so 134 on AMD. So you could play it down to 134. So like you could do 134, 135 bear put spread. So that would be roughly 25 cents or so. So 25 cents, and obviously you're going to possibly win $1 or get $1 by expiration on Friday if that perfectly works out and closes below 134. And on this side of it, it wouldn't be as big on the risk reward, but here's the thing, is if you do this side and NVIDIA says something that's super positive for the whole industry, this side, which looks like it'd be roughly a 45, 50 cent price. So basically to get $1, to win $1. So basically this side would just about cover the cost of if you won, if NVIDIA and AMD both went bullish, your winnings on NVIDIA would cover the loss on your AMD here. But if NVIDIA comes out and says something bad for the whole industry, then this would actually cover the cost of your NVIDIA's puts, and you'd win quite a bit. Now, here would be the cool scenario. If NVIDIA says, yeah, we're crushing it, and, you know, we're eating everybody else's lunch, and AMD winds up dropping, and your puts do well there, and NVIDIA just goes higher on theirs, so the calls do really good there. So that's where this could be a really kind of a lot of fun. So if NVIDIA skyrocketed, or not even skyrocketed, but if it went higher, which is one reason why you keep it close. I mean, could NVIDIA easily go over 3.5% on earnings from our current price level? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's one reason why I kind of dig doing this, because it's easy to see a scenario in which they both move in the direction I was just kind of talking about, where AMD drops, NVIDIA pops, and you win on both sides. But if NVIDIA leads the market one direction or the other, at least you're probably getting out for, maybe a small gain or net even, and or, in the case if they both went bearish, you got a pretty good winner there on AMD side that you'd cover the costs of the NVIDIA loss. If they both went bullish, you're basically just covering the cost of the AMD puts that probably wouldn't be worth as much, but you'd have a small gain, very small gain from the NVIDIA bull call spread. So that's kind of something I would look to do. I wouldn't go crazy. Like if you're gonna look to do that, make sure you're probably spending, because one of the sides, I believe the NVIDIA side, the option spread was around 50 cents per contract, or not 50 cents per contract, 50 cents per share in the contract, so about $50 per contract. And the AMD side is around a quarter, $25 per contract. So you got to make sure that you don't like over allocate one side or the other. Make sure you spend like whichever amount of money you spend on one side, you spend on the other side. So if you're going to buy $200 in the call spread on NVIDIA side, make sure you spend $200 on the AMD put side. There you go. Was it all clear? I have no idea. I hope so. But you just want to make sure it's kind of balanced, not in balance. You don't want to spend like $1,000 on NVIDIA and then like $100 on the AMD side, because then it's not weighted equally, and you don't have a proper risk balance there. Anyways, all right. As far as what Tesla pulling back, so Tesla's been running real hot, so not surprised to see some kind of pullback here. Yeah. I mean, Tesla over the past month has been on a tear. Had a pretty good pullback last week, but no, I wouldn't really worry about this. You actually look at this as a pretty good opportunity to maybe sell some options or something like that. There's probably still some pretty good volatility banked in here, but you're probably going to be looking to see this continue higher. Got a nice little consolidation starting to sit up here. And then I saw Qualcomm was down 6%. What? Yeah, Qualcomm's had this sideways consolidation. We were talking about this one over the past week. Had this sideways consolidation. I was like, that did not look good. There you go. You got the drop 6% today. So I would say if you probably picked up options, is there a reason why, or is it just exhaustion here? Qualcomm is identified as potentially impacted by proposed tariffs on imports due to its reliance on Taiwan as a critical component of its supply chain. Okay. I don't think that's really the big deal. Maybe it is. That selling started pretty quick there on the open. So, okay. What else we got? Amazon down. UNH. United Health Group. So bounce, non-earnings. Okay. Okay. Palantir down 3.5%. I didn't really understand why this thing was running so hot over the past couple months, especially over the past 2 weeks, really, since earnings. Remember, Palantir, their main customer is, from my understanding, DOD. Okay? So this is where you need to pay attention to politics. Okay? I know, it sucks. But you need to pay attention to politics here because, right? I mean, if you're hearing about this current administration that's about to come in, it's going to slash and cut back a lot of spending, especially in the DoD, Department of Defense side, and stuff like that. And Palantir has a lot of those government contracts, has a lot of those government services. You got to really question how much exposure you want to have Palantir right now. Right now. Okay? So I would be looking. It could be a benefit, right? It could be a benefit, and just kind of trying to play as devil's advocate, right? If you got the Department of Defense, DoD, that's they're about to be told, hey, you're gonna have to cut back on a lot of spending, and so like, okay, we need to go to super efficient spending, and if they look at the best dollar cost benefit, analysis, Palantir might benefit from that type of scenario. But I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. That might be, and I don't think that would be like an like right away thing. I think that might be like it might take like maybe a year and a half for decision makers to maybe even lean into that route. But that's just kind of my thought process there. What is this? Ford. Ooh, man, Ford has a wicked top here. Around 11.20, 11.30. Nice. Nice drop off today. Ford's going to cut 4,000 jobs in Europe by 2027, mainly in Germany and UK, due to low electric vehicle demand and increased competition impacting production of the new Explorer and Capri models. Ford has reduced the price of the Mustang. Responding to rising auto loan delinquency rates and significant price cuts across the auto industry. Well, no kidding. Okay, so there you go. It's never good when you're having to scale back operations because of demand, and also it's not even a demand thing. It's also people not paying, buying. People not paying their bills, basically. Yeah, to me that doesn't sound good at all. Honestly, what they just said, having to reduce prices. I mean, obviously you don't ever want to see a company have to reduce prices; it just eats margins. But, yeah, that's not a good sign. Okay, I'll leave it there. Derek, what's going on? Money. I wish I had a money gun that would just like throw out the dollar bills. Dude, it's gonna be a good day. If something really crazy comes from Nvidia's earnings, Honestly, I was thinking maybe I'll put out a message, but I don't think I will, because there's not gonna be much we can do about it. Um, I think if you want to play Nvidia's earnings, I would do a bull call spread on Nvidia and do the bear call spread strategy on AMD. Kind of what we talked about. That's the way I would look to play the earnings, and I would keep them both kind of tight. And that's about it. I wouldn't. I'd never buy outright calls or puts over earnings. There's too much volatility baked in. So I think it'll be a pretty good movement because we haven't really seen a huge movement. We haven't seen a huge movement on the market this week. I mean, too much. I mean, we're still just kind of trading the same range that where we were on Friday. So Derek's like, I just stay away. That is also a very smart move. Smart move. Let the market tell you what it's going to do next. But man, you gotta really hate how this looks right here. Past few trading days, gosh, it looks just so bad on the Qs and SPY. How's the DIA looking right now? Yeah, the DIA. Yeah, DIA and RSP just kind of look like they've just retested into those moving averages and they're starting to trade back down. That's how they look. So yeah, Nvidia day, and it'll be a good one. So I'll leave it there. I'd probably just doesn't even matter what we talk about the rest of the day because by the time we get on the mic tomorrow, it'll be all about Nvidia. So have a great rest of your day, Alpha Hunters. Take care.